Alright, let me open with this $761,000 moved into sports prediction contracts in 11 minutes flat after a major playoff seeding announcement. That is not random noise. That is the market saying something out loud. And there is a feature on PolymarketTrade that visualizes exactly which markets move together in that window. It is called the correlation heatmap. Today, I am walking you through it completely from scratch. If you have never opened a prediction market in your life, that is totally fine. We are starting from zero. Before we touch the heat map, let's lock in the foundation. A prediction market is a contract. It is priced between $0 and $1. And here is the key thing, that price is the crowd's collective probability estimate. If a contract is sitting at 67 cents, the market as a whole thinks that event has roughly a 67% chance of happening. Think of it like reading a championship bracket, but instead of a seed number, you are looking at a live probability percentage that updates every time new information comes in. Anyone can open a position, and anyone can close it before the market resolves. Okay, here is the correlation heat map. What you are looking at is a grid, and every cell in that grid represents the relationship between two categories of prediction markets. PolymarketTrade tracks 13 categories. Things like crypto, AI, politics, sports, climate. The heat map shows you how those categories relate to each other. Warm colors, reds and oranges, mean positive correlation. Those categories tend to move in the same direction. Cool colors, blues and greens, mean negative correlation. When one category heats up, the other tends to cool down. Think about how playoff teams in different conferences start mirroring each other's energy once you get deep into the finals. That is what you are seeing here. Each cell has a score that runs from -1 to +1. A score close to +1 means those two market categories move in lockstep, like NBA and NFL championship probabilities both jumping after a major broadcast rights deal gets announced. A score near 0 means basically no relationship. Those categories are independent of each other. And a score close to -1 is where it gets genuinely interesting. That means when one category heats up, the other tends to cool down, and that gap is your natural hedge signal. We are going to use exactly that in a few minutes. Now let's pull back a level. The network graph takes that same correlation data and visualizes it as a web of individual markets, not just category blocks. Every dot, every node is a single prediction market. The size of that node tells you how much capital is flowing through it. The lines connecting nodes, the edges, show you which markets have strong price correlation. Markets with lots of connections naturally group into clusters. Think of it like a playoff bracket where a result in one bracket arm sends ripples all the way across the draw. Those ripples are the clusters you are looking for. A cluster does not form just because markets share a tag. There are three signals working together. First, shared tags. Markets all labeled AI or crypto or UEFA naturally start near each other in the graph. Second, capital flow. If money is moving in and out of those markets on similar schedules, the algorithm pulls the cluster tighter. Third, actual price correlation. Are the contract prices themselves tracking each other over time? All three signals together is what locks a cluster in place. Same logic as rating a championship contender. You do not just look at regular season win total, you look at point differential and strength of schedule and playoff experience. Multiple signals, not one. Click any cluster in the network graph and it expands. Now you can see the individual markets inside, their names, their current contract price, and the pairwise correlation score between each pair. This is where real analysis starts. You are scanning for the outlier, the one market inside a tight cluster that is not moving with the group. In sports terms, Think about finding the one regular season overperformer whose playoff splits tell a completely different story than the overall record suggests. That divergence is information. The market is pricing that contract differently for a reason, and that gap is what you want to investigate. Alright, here is the practical scenario. You have opened a yes position in an AI sector prediction market. The contract is sitting at 62 cents. You pull up the correlation heat map and you see AI and crypto are running a positive correlation of 0.74 this week. That is a strong link. What that number is telling you, when crypto markets move, AI markets have a strong tendency to follow. If crypto pulls back, maybe a regulatory announcement, maybe a liquidity event, there is a meaningful probability your AI position is going to feel that pressure too. That is the exposure you need to think about before the market moves against you. Here is the hedge. You go into the network graph, find a crypto market sitting on the edge of the AI cluster, ideally one with a lower positive correlation or a negative one to your specific AI contract. You open a NO position on that crypto market. Now if crypto cools and drags AI with it, your NO position gains value and partially offsets the loss on your AI yes. If everything keeps running hot, your AI yes grows and the NO gives back a little, but you were already exposed to that upside anyway. It is the same thinking a championship-level fantasy manager uses when diversifying across teams in different divisions. You are not trying to predict perfectly. You are managing the full range of outcomes. And that is the full tour. Correlation heat map for category level signals, network graph for individual market clusters, and a real hedging use case you can apply starting today. The tool is live on PolymarketTrade. Browse the Analytics tab right now, no account needed. Start by just looking at which categories are running hot this week and which ones are moving opposite. That alone tells you where capital is flowing before a major event. If you want daily alerts when big probability shifts happen, like the $761,000 flow we opened with, the link to the Telegram channel is in the pinned comment below. See you in the next one.